Good morning and welcome to Street Speed 717, where today I'm finally going to be hanging the license plates that you guys all send me up on the garage wall. I have a cool idea that I think everyone is going to enjoy. Then I have a truly ridiculous video of the Duramax saving a Jeep, which happened just the other day, and that video is insane. We are going to follow that up by talking about why I love Chevrolets, but in particular why I will only drive a Chevy truck. Then to finish up the vlog, we're gonna do a little update on the Duramax itself because I have recently done what I would call a pretty substantial mechanical modification. Let's get to it. I think I'm gonna do one for US plates and then a separate one for international. Originally, I was gonna put these on the wall using Velcro, but I figured that I was gonna be getting a lot of plates and that would be a lot of Velcro strips. So I'm actually following a tip from a subscriber who said to use paper clips to connect them. Now, another cool idea that you guys had, and there are companies that do this, and that is to make the license plates in the shape of the United States. And of course, each plate is in its proper geographical location. I'm not gonna do that at this townhouse because I'm planning on moving shortly, but check this out. Okay. I saw something very similar to this when I was in a store in New York City, and it was like 150 bucks, and I was like, I can make that for way cheaper. So, I went to Home Depot, I got myself a piece of wood, I got some black spray paint and some painter's tape, and I was able to make this. There are some things that aren't quite right. If you can tell, the United States and South America are too big, Africa's too big, and as a consequence, all of Europe is pretty much too small. Also, the way that we're looking at it, Australia should be a little bit farther over to the right. But my point is that I made this, and this is not to say like, oh, look how fucking cool I am. It's just that, you know, if I was to attempt a project like the license plate thing, I think I could pull it off. I don't know, I like to consider myself at least, you know, somewhat capable. Let's cut to that incredible clip of the Duramax.
Well, he got him out. We're gonna see and assess the damage here real quick. I'll tell you what, that fucking Duramax, that thing pulls hard. Holy shit, he pulled him over a fucking tree. I don't know if you guys saw it in the video, but literally he pulled that Jeep over a tree. So that thing's got some beef to it. I was actually surprised because that truck is heavy as balls, and like I was afraid it was just gonna slide right the fuck down the hill. But he didn't. All right, so story time. I want to give you all a little bit of backstory so that the video you just saw makes a little bit more sense. A couple of days ago, Nick and I were hanging out. This was back when we had our first icing of the year here in Pennsylvania, and we get a call from our buddy who said, hey, you know, I slid off the road. Can you come pick me up? I really don't feel like paying a tow truck $400 to come and get me. So I said, sure, why not? You know, I got the tow strap and the Duramax, we'll come and we'll get him out. And I thought that this was gonna be a really simple task, maybe 15 minutes at the most. Luckily, he was close by. Anyway, we get there and we could not find him. He even put on his little, I don't know, iPhone tracker thing so you can see where somebody's at, and we could not see him anywhere. And a couple of minutes goes by and Nick says, hey, I think I see him. I think he's down in there. And sure as shit, here he is in his Jeep, stuck like 30 feet down an embankment in a ditch in the woods off of the highway. Immediately I'm thinking, okay, this went from being a really simple, you know, towing somebody out of the snow to a full-scale, fully fledged vehicle recovery. As usual, the video does not do it justice, but I mean, that hill was very slippery, muddy, icy. It was terrible, and matter of fact, when I was backing up the Duramax to position myself to pull him out, my truck was slipping a lot. So when I hooked up to him, and that wasn't like a little Wrangler either, that was the full-size Cherokee, I think.
And I was thinking to myself, there is no way in hell I'm going to be able to pull myself and him out of this ditch. But of course, the Duramax prevailed. And that's why I love that truck. I mean, I have taken that thing to the drag strip. I've taken that truck off-roading. I put on a $1,200 Zone off-road lift kit and enormous wheels and tires that truck was never meant to drive around with, and I've taken it on trips, did all this shit with it, and I've never had a single problem. So that's really why I choose to only drive a Chevy truck, specifically a Duramax diesel. Now, I get this question all the time. People say, why do you only drive Chevys? And of course the truth is, I don't only drive Chevys. There are a lot of vehicles that I would consider owning and driving, and I just bought a Mini Cooper. But when it comes to the things that I want and need in a vehicle, you know, Chevys just fit that bill really well. Take my Z06 for example. What car are you going to get that offers the performance that this car does, is as sexy as this car is, you know, is as practical, it gets good gas mileage, it's reliable, it does everything that you could possibly want in a car, all for less than 80 grand. Where else are you gonna get that? I mean, fuck, mine has over 700 wheel horsepower and I take it on trips all the time. It's been 100% reliable. When it comes to the Duramax, I have done anything and everything with that truck and it has not failed me once. When I was 16 and in high school, I was looking for my first truck and my budget was $1,200. And at that time, you know, I wasn't a Chevy guy. I really wanted anything. I wanted either a Ford, a Dodge, or a Chevy. I did want to stay with the American brand trucks. When you are searching on Craigslist, as I'm sure many of you know, especially with a low budget, I mean $1,200 is not a whole lot of money, you're gonna come across a lot of crap. And I went to go see a lot of trucks, and most of the time it was like, oh yeah, in the ad, you know, oh, it runs great. And then you get there and it's like, well, you know, it's slipping, it doesn't really go in a second gear, it's misfiring, this and that. And it's like, well, Jesus, I need something that's reliable. Finally, I came across a 1989 Silverado, and it was not the prettiest truck in the world. It had 245,000 miles on it, but it ran well. That truck ended up lasting me for a while until I bought a 1992 single cab short bed Chevy. And if you've ever seen one of these trucks, I'm sure you have, if you can picture it, you know, it's very small. So this thing was like almost Wrangler sized. It was a hell of an off-roader, and I didn't have the money for a lift kit, so I took a hacksaw to the wheel arches and I cut the bumper and I stuffed a 33 by 12.5 in there on I think a 16-inch or a 15-inch steel rim. I put it through so much shit, you know, at one point I even had it beached up on the frame, all four wheels up in the air spinning, and it never failed me. That truck is what I really think started my love affair with Chevys, and I ended up selling that, I think I was 20, maybe 20, I don't think I was 21 yet, but either way, I sold that for a 2006 Silverado, just a gas 1500. And that was a weird one because it was, and I think it was weird because it was rare, which I liked, but it was rare because, you know, people didn't really like it, I think. But it was an extended cab truck, and I have pictures of it on my Instagram, by the way, at StreetSpeed717 if you want to see it. But it was an extended cab truck with a crew cab bed. So extended cab, 5.5 foot bed. So it was there was basically like between the cab and the rear wheel, there was no bed. It was like that big. So it was interesting, and like I said, I like something that's different, so I loved it. But it was certainly an interesting looking truck. Then of course the rest is history. I sold that truck for the Duramax, as you all know and love, and here we are today. Anyway, let's get to that Duramax update. So excuse the setting of this part of the video, but I decided that my truck was in desperate need of a wash, as you can see. As you can probably tell, the new modification for the truck is heavy-duty tie rods. Tie rods are sort of a weak point with these trucks, and especially when you run bigger wheels and tires, if you launch in four-wheel drive, or your truck, you know, hits some really rough terrain in four-wheel drive, you can snap a tie rod really easily. The cheap fix is what I had before, which was tie rod sleeves, just little things that go over them. But really, this is the proper way to do it, and I've been wanting to get these for a while. The stock tie rods on these trucks are about the size of this end link here, actually probably a little bit smaller than that. So you can tell the new ones are at least 4 or 5 times as big as that. Definitely a necessary upgrade. Now that I have those done, pretty much the entire front end is built. I have heavy duty upper control arms, end links, tie rods, CV axles. The only thing left is, of course, the lower control arm, and I may or may not do that, but what's probably coming soon here, hopefully, is a solid front end, so we'll see how that goes. I also got the truck inspected because it was well overdue. You can see there I am good until December 2017 now, and you might be asking yourself, Mike, how the hell did you pull that off when your tires look like this? And the answer is really quite simple, and this is why, you know, inspections are bullshit and it's just a money grab for the state. All you gotta do is make sure when you take your truck in, or car, or whatever, that it's legal. So all I did was, I actually have a buddy with a set of wheels and tires. He literally has a set of wheels and tires that he just uses when inspection rolls around. So I borrowed those, put those on the truck, and then the only other thing I had to do was get my exhaust in order. My exhaust is currently dumped underneath the cab of the truck, as you can hopefully see there, and I still have the full piece. I bought a 5-inch turboback MBRP exhaust for this truck a while ago. I'll put a link to that video in the description if you want to check it out. I chose to just dump it underneath the cab because I like the way it sounds, but all I got to do for inspection is put the rest of the system on. That way it goes past the cab and it exits the vehicle. That's all you have to do. Luckily, the one thing I will say about Pennsylvania, which is good, it does not have emissions testing for diesels, which does make it easier with the whole exhaust thing. So even though it's straight piped, no cats, no mufflers, anything like that, as long as it's past the cab of the truck and exiting the vehicle, it is legal. Okay, got the truck all cleaned, and it is really fucking cold out there, so I'm gonna finish the outro here in the truck. But you guys might know Andy as the guy who built my car, built my Corvette, but you might not know Shane from Performance Diesel Warehouse, who built my truck. If you are a long-term subscriber, a long-time subscriber, I should say, hopefully everybody's a long-term subscriber, you might remember him from when I first put the lift kit on this vehicle and some of the other things I did. I did a lot of filming in his shop. But anyway, Shane built my truck from square one, the first modification that I did to it, all the way up until, you know, still doing the stuff like the tie rods today. And he's a really great dude, knows exactly what he's doing, and I'm happy to give him a shout out as always. I mean, you guys know I really value quality people and quality work, and that's why I choose to stay local and do things with smaller companies. And Shane is a great dude, so I will put his information in the description below. You want anything done to your truck, whether it's regular maintenance or lift kit, whatever you need done, he can definitely handle it. Anyway, that is going to do it for this video and this Duramax update, so I sincerely hope that you all enjoyed. If you are stopping in for the first time, please subscribe and take care. Have a great day. I'm still freezing my ass off.